Hey everyone, time for Geocache Talk. Whether at work, in the car, wherever you are, we hope you enjoy the show. Please give it a like, subscribe on iTunes, Stitcher, Pocket Cast, TuneIn Radio, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Big thanks to the Travel Bugs for the music and our featured patrons, R Cool and PJ Cool 711, CJ Hove, Lady Black Cat. Lady Black Cat and Carrot Killer had an event in Mexico this past week. So that's kind of cool. They did that. And got them a county. RAR 285, Chihuahua Jill, Demon Hunter 2, Electric Water Boy, Aggie Jedi Master, and Teus, Joshua the Geocaching Vlogger, and our new patrons, R&M Cachers, Cal Running, DE Crypto Man, Julie D, Lost Boy Rambler, Houston, Texas Dave, Hulu Yossi, Adair MD, Semmels 123, Chaos in Motion, the Bruce Zero, and here's that one, Jesse again. O0 Ridlin Kids 0O.
Love it.
And I made a mistake last week. The other person in Florida, his geocaching name is Florida TB Hunter. So I got that fixed. So, and I got a note from Just B. We talked about last week. Just B does like his geocaching name. It's his wife that's not too fond of his geocaching name. So she thinks it's boring. I think it's cool. But anyway, so there you go. There you go.
I like it.
I cleared that up. I like Just B. I like them all. All right. So if you'd like to become a patron, head on over to patreon.com/geocache talk for more details. Patrons get the new blackout coins. Blackout coin.
Oh, look at that. Like that right there?
That one right there, buddy.
All right.
Yeah, that's it. You want to show the code? That's okay.
You mean the code right there?
The code?
No, I'm not doing that.
Don't do that. We can if you want.
I don't know that I've ever shared that code.
I don't have you registered it? That's the other thing.
Oh, I don't know.
So nobody steal it from you. Other geocaching items during the year. One of the items like those.
Ooh,
you got it. Yeah, you can show those.
Look at that. Let me take it out of the package because
do that, man.
Hopefully whoever I'm sending this to won't mind.
Well, just don't show the code on the back, right?
Oh no, I won't show the code on the back.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Let's see if I can get this.
Ooh.
Is it gonna?
Yep. I love it. There's zipper pull.
Yeah, or a bag, or
pulls, or
whatever else, or earrings.
Charm. Yeah, you could make them into charms,
or necklace. Yeah,
or necklace. Yeah,
different type of swag. So not your standard coin. But they look really good, though.
Yeah.
And they're CFO approved. So
cool.
She got them and she was very surprised. She hadn't seen the final mock-up of them. So she approved of them.
Right. Very cool. Or different things. We got bonus content, invites, special events, only for patrons. Support level start at as little as the Bison Tube level, which is $3 a month. So let me welcome my
events like what? Like a dinner?
Oh, like a dinner. Yeah, like a patron dinner.
Nah, we won't do that.
Geo Woodstock? No, we aren't going to do that.
Oh. Are you going to that? Yeah, we should probably go.
Yeah. One of us will have to be there for sure. I will be there.
Well, us and 2,267 other people so far, I think.
Not quite that many. Not quite. But quite a few. We're up into probably the 50s. So
No, I meant total at the event, not at ours.
At our event.
Not at our dinner, yeah.
We'll have
I think we're at 2,267 is what the Willetins are so far.
Yeah, that's a lot of people. Hopefully we get to 3,000. That'd be kind of cool. Something happens at 3,000, I think. So we'll have to keep our ears open for that.
That would be nice too.
Yep.
But we can't say gig ahead of time, so we won't do that.
Right. All right. Well, let me welcome my co-host Jesse, which I already did.
Oh yeah. Good evening.
Welcome. And let's jump right in to show 140 for March 17th as we welcome to the show David Rives. Welcome to the Geocache Talk.
Hey, how are you?
Good. We got a lot to talk about tonight, and
All pure insanity too.
Yeah, exactly.
Just
And
crazy.
good stuff. But Dave and I have known each other for many years, so I'm excited to have him on. Been looking forward to this. All right, so let's get into start with some news. So, do you have a webcam update for us?
Yes. So webcams, they haven't changed a lot recently. We were doing them every week, but they've kind of stabilized recently. So currently in the US, there's 107 still. We stayed at 110 for a while, and it dropped down to 107. And worldwide, there are currently 10 disabled. So hopefully some of those come back. That's been kind of the flux has been up and down with those, but we're staying kind of stable in webcams. They've kind of bottomed out, but you know what? We're almost to the summer, and we haven't dipped below 100 in the US, so that's pretty good. So I think that's pretty good.
Yeah, but boy, once they're gone, man, it's gonna be sad.
Once it gets under 100, that's kind of a joke at that point.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
But if it stays at 100, then you can easily see what percentage of the total in the United States you have. So
yeah, that's true. True.
Sounds like a good challenge. Like get 50% of them in the United States.
Oh, right. You could make. Oh, yeah. I don't. You can't make a challenge out of those, can you?
Yeah, I've got one for finding 25 webcams.
Oh, okay.
They argue with me about that too.
Why would they argue about that?
They said it was not enough people would want to do it, and there's not enough people had done it. Well, this is Colorado, so we have like the extreme cachers here, so it's easy here because I'm like, well, here's these 10 people that have done everything. So
25 is a bunch, though, to try to
it is, but that's a real challenge. You should be able to work towards things like that.
Yeah.
Challenges we've talked about this before, but they shouldn't just be reward caches. They should be something that makes you work towards, like some insane streak or, something like that.
We'll talk about that here in a minute. So. All right. So we got a cool gift this week when I was in Seguin at the Texas Challenge. So we want to mention it and shout out to Cache Spy. I actually have his path tag here. So there is Cache Spy's path tag. Cache Spy.
I think I've seen that somewhere.
You got that one?
You know what? I just happen to have that right here.
How about that? He sent you one too. That's great.
Yeah.
Actually, I sent it on to you. So that's cool. That is cool. Path tags are always cool, but there's something even more awesomer than that.
Even more awesomer
is Jesse and I got. He gave us these things. Houston Police Department.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, there you go. Jesse's showing his.
And there's the patch on the inside.
It's got the patch. Isn't that sweet? It's got a little write up on how they Space City USA. Get a chance if you got a chance to read that. Yeah, but it's very cool. The talking about the uniform and the how they came up with the patch. It says, of course, Space City USA, and the whole time when Houston was very involved with the space program when it first started. So,
and kind of among law enforcement, military, there's kind of a tradition of trading patches with friends. When you travel and do stuff like that. So that means a lot that he was willing to send us something like that. So
yeah, he mentioned that specifically about you being former law enforcement. That you thought that would be cool to do for you. So,
and I do have a select few patches in my collection. I keep a small collection. I don't just collect random ones. So that goes in with some of the other ones of people I've met across the country. So
that's awesome.
I really like that a lot.
Very cool.
That means a lot.
Yep. Yeah, you have an update on a book?
Got to do a lot of work on the book this weekend. So I'm pretty sure, according to the CFO, she's the boss. I'm pretty sure that we're going to have the book on geocaching challenges ready for GeoWoodstock. So we'll have some there. It's going great. We're having a blast doing it, going over some of the stories from the past, and even forgot some of the stories of things that happened. Our which we kind of talked about on this show before, but the one where we went to do the 5,000 and the final Jasmer,
Yeah.
that's in the book. And there's some other ones that are funny that we kind of forgot. And I always remind everybody to do this who's been caching for a while. Go back and look through your pictures every once in a while. That gallery that's on you'll remember some funny stories that have happened from years back. And you're like, oh yeah, I remember when we did that. And of course I looked through and I got like bloody pictures of me and all kinds of crazy stuff going on. But it's a fun stroll down memory lane. So hopefully the challenge book will be done and ready for then. I'm pretty sure it's going to be, and it's got a bunch of great stories in it. And some of them we've kind of shared a little bit on the show, but this is the more behind the scenes stuff. And then of course it's all about challenges and how that really, if you're into that, it can really enhance your geocaching experience. So that should be a lot of fun.
Awesome. Yep. Looking forward to that. FTF 3D puzzle.
Yeah. So haven't got an FTF in a while. As a matter of fact, the last FTF I went for wasn't actually there. So we jumped out, ran out of the house, like you do on an FTF. And we get there and we met the cache owner, so to speak, at GZ. And he's like, oh, yeah, I haven't hidden out there yet. I'm like, that's not how it works.
That's not how it works there, buddy.
But being a good ambassador of geocaching, I didn't call him bad names. I said, yeah, this is kind of how you're supposed to do it. And, we talked about it and they did get it hidden. So, but this one, it came out this morning. It was a puzzle that was like a word search and, kind of what's left over leads you to the clues, the GPS coordinates. And we do that, and then we get to GZ, and it's one of those 3D printed puzzles. So you had to find a way to unlock it to get to the container too. So
that's cool.
So that's kind of a bonus. It was a really good, because it could have just been a pill bottle, and it still would have been a good cache because it was a fun puzzle to do. But we get there, and it's not only an FTF, but it's a 3D puzzle printed container. So that was pretty cool. That's very cool. Good bonus for the day.
Yeah, absolutely. And then last note of our notes, I wanted to mention, I'm not going to show it because it's a little bit hidden, but I'll show you a tiny bit of it. So we've got our new path tag. I can't show you all of it because it's a secret, but
nice.
But I do want to show the back of it because it means a lot to us because it was designed by Pink Sweet Designs. Let's see if I can get it to. And so I'm trying to. There we go. That's Pink Sweet Designs backing to the path tag, and it'll be in our show notes. But Pink Sweet Designs. Also, I've got her link on the webpage in the front. Did an amazing job. Really did. We're really excited about how well it turned out. If you wanted a path tag and you have no idea where to start, scribble down on a piece of paper or something, take a picture of it and send it to her, and she can make you a path tag out of that. So
when do we get to show this design? Because it's awesome.
It is awesome. I don't care. I mean, I guess we
can't show. I know we can't show it tonight. I know
we can't show it yet. We're gonna keep it,
but it's good.
Keep some secrets.
Yeah, what we say for another show.
Yep, for another show. Very well done. So if you want to know, or if you have an idea and you're not sure, like I said, how to go about it, talk to Jen. Tell her that where you heard about her design, and it's inexpensive. I mean, for almost nothing, you can get her to do a design for you. She'll create it. She'll do it all for you. She'll send you she'll like, if you don't even know what to do as far as how to get it sent to pathtags.com, she'll tell you how to do all that stuff. So Jen's great. So
yeah,
definitely check out Pink Sweet Designs and get your path tag done, because Woodstock's coming up and you're rapidly running out of time. I mean, rapidly.
Yeah, and that one turned out great.
Yep. Very excited about that one. All right, let's get into tonight's show. So, David, we're going to pepper you with some questions, my friend.
All right.
Yeah, that's what we're going to do.
First of all, why are you so insane to do this that you've done? But we'll get to that later.
We'll get to that in a minute.
Let's start on the background first.
Yeah. So, I think that I forget what day it was, but it was years ago. Back, I started in '06. What year did you start, David? Do you remember what your just
Well,
to catch
the first find was July 15th of '06.
'06? So we that's right. We started almost the same time,
Yeah,
almost exactly. And what's funny is that I don't remember what it was, but our our friend question mark
yeah,
Keith
yeah.
KLCE. No, Keith's a good guy, but Keith mentioned to me one day, he goes, just I don't know if it was just out of blue, but he goes, you know, I got David started and I got Drive started in geocaching.
He did.
He did. So that's a true story.
It's
But
all his fault. I blame him. Every
I blame him too. No, it's just funny because it's like, oh, really? That's kind of cool. So, Jesse, to let you know, Keith is one of the MCC, and so it's kind of neat to
One of that crew, huh?
one of that crew. Yeah,
I know. I
and
need me a good motley caching crew up this way.
you do. And so anyway, that's how you kind of got started. But when you did first start, David, did you was your first cache memorable? Some people have different experiences. Like Jesse's was barely memorable. Susan I's was pretty good. It was in Marshall and ironically still alive. But do you remember your first cache? Was it memorable or what was it that was kind of?
No, I do remember the first cache.
Very cool.
Just plain as day. Again, I was with Keith there, and we'd been out over by a Boy Scout hut, and he was trying to show me some things, and it didn't make sense at all to me. I didn't know what I was looking for. Or it was like, well, okay, I'm here. What am I looking? I don't get it.
Right.
So we went over to a park, and we hiked and crossed this whole thing, and he kind of led me in the right direction. And there was it was called Stuck in the Middle, and a real prolific hider in our area at that time, Sandbass King and Queen.
Oh yeah,
had hidden that nice container hidden inside of a hollow tree on a tether, and I was amazed. That was really cool. So
that is cool.
That was the first one, yeah.
Wow. And since then, a lot has happened.
Sure.
What comes to mind as far as where geocaching has taken you as far as locations? What stands out to you as far as, and we'll talk about Drive's Cache Closet a little bit, but does anything stick out to you as far as places you've been because of geocaching? I guess is the way to put it.
Well, probably the most memorable thing that we've done is the Texas County Challenge.
Yes.
Making sure we traveled to all 254 of these counties, and just seeing the diversity of the state, and just so different everywhere you go. That was one of the things that we really still talk about and enjoy today. Of course, whenever you travel now, that's one of the things you're going to look for is, good caches, and favorite points now have come out, and you can use those to find some good ones. But there were always virtuals that you knew were going to take you to a really cool location or something special. But that county challenge was it for us. That was the big one.
Yeah, because that's something that, like you said, you and I have been to different parts of the state. But when you do the 254 challenge, and we're just barely getting started, but just you definitely see. Even recently, we even not far from here, Susan and I found we had to go up and do some counties up in the Northeast area, and we ran into a town, and it's like, I have never been here before, but it's kind of cool. This is a cool town. It's like, it's off the beaten path, and you're like, oh, cool. So
it's a great way to explore your state, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, we'd been caching for years, just like you talked about. And when we decided to look at the challenge, the Texas County Challenge, we were surprised to see we only had about 50 some odd in our travels as well. And it's like, oh my gosh, we thought we'd been all over the state, but no,
No.
There's some places we hadn't been for sure.
Exactly.
Cool
Yeah, I was telling David before the show, it's like when you sit down and look at your state and you go, mine was just Susan and I had been here, but not here. I mean, we've been there, but we didn't find any caches there. So it's like, it was like a shotgun, we'd found a few here and a few there. And it's like, oh man, if we'd have just been a little more, with it, we'd have been able to find some more.
Yeah,
Right.
but even so, you're not going to accidentally do the challenge, right? That's not happening.
No,
you're not.
No.
It takes a lot of planning to do any county challenge, I guess. But I mean, especially Texas.
No, that's true.
Yeah. So as far as like experience, what stands out? What stands out to you as far as not necessarily where you went, but just the trip or the experience that you've had that comes to mind when you think about a geocaching experience, if you want to think of that?
Wow. I guess one of the ones that really rings true is I was sent to Connecticut in the fall on business, and Anita went with me, and we added on an extra week, and we did a little leaf peeping, as well as all of the New England states, getting those caches. And it's similar to the challenge in a way, because when you're picking out caches to go get because you want to go to this part of the state and get the cache, you find yourself in some places that you wouldn't go even if you were a tourist just driving around. So it certainly has led us down some beautiful country roads.
That's awesome.
For sure. Yeah, that was an awesome trip. That was really cool.
Yep. One thing that I've wanted to have David on for a while. Dave and I we had it scheduled and it didn't work out. So I circled back to get him back on. But one of the things that is interesting, I think, is and again, this is just sort of a side note. But the most, you'll find this interesting, Jesse, I think, the most, let's see if I can word this correctly, of the caches that Susan and I have found, the cache owner that we have found the most of has been David and Anita's caches. So when you look at your list of caches you found and who the cache owners were, Sandbass King and Queen's up on that list, but David's is the highest. And one of the things that I have enjoyed is what David has done, which is called the Famous Person series. So I'm going to let you explain it, David, because I'm going to botch it up. But tell people tell them what the FP series is.
I'm not sure I can explain it. I just know when we started hiding caches, the very first one I hid was down at my grandfather's farm, kind of out in the country a little bit. And his name was George Washington Rives Sr. So we named this cache Famous Person Series #1, George Washington. And again, I was hanging around with friends like Sandbass King and Queen that we keep mentioning.
Yeah.
And all of their caches were named after songs. So we kind of picked up on that and said, well, we've got to follow some sort of a theme. And that just kind of stuck. And, as of today, we're like FP 950 some odd that we've that we've hidden out there. All with famous people names, we're not going to run out. So,
yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there've been a lot of fun ones. So kind of what, the way this works, Jesse, is that David will find a name in a cemetery and he will then relate that name. It won't be the actual person, but,
sometimes it is.
oh yeah, you're right. No, you're right. Sometimes it is, but some of the time you will take a name, and you will, you'll have fun with it. We'll
tie it in some way to the
right
theme of the cache. Yeah, theme of the hide.
Yeah. So Audie Murphy, I think is that actual? I know that one's archived now, but was that? That was a famous person. It was just a birthplace of where Audie. He's near here.
It was wasn't that at the historical marker? Or?
Yeah, it's at the historical marker. Yeah. Yep. So most, and I guess most, now that I think about it, of course, most are in cemeteries, but obviously you have some like that one that's kind of cool. That was famous person number 293 in your list was Audie Murphy, which,
wow,
that's
you remember that.
Going back a ways.
Yeah.
But, I just liked how you did that, how you kind of connected the dots sometimes with different people and,
well, hiding them at a historical marker kind of names itself. So you really
that's true.
Too much with those.
Right. But, having fun with what was happening at the time, like your Steve Bartman, because of the Bartman thing with in Chicago, or different ones that
that series. Okay.
Yeah, that series that's a fun. So that is interesting. 15 Seconds of Fame.
Yeah, so not so famous people. So
not so famous people.
Famous for the wrong reasons, but
yeah,
we had fun with it. I mean, obviously, 900 and something of them. We've been through the gamut. Good, bad, ugly. So
that is a lot of caches to hide over the years.
It
is, and well, over 500 of them are still active. So we try to do our best. And you know what? We call on the community to help out with the wet logs and the baggies and things. We can't obviously go running out the door every time a log gets wet. And so we try to offer links for people to download logs and carry them with them and kind of help us out. And folks are pretty good about that. So it keeps those things active. Otherwise, it'd all be archived probably by now.
Yeah.
Well, 900 and what is it? 930 something? 930?
936, I think, under my specific GeoNick.
Right.
A few others out there under some other names that we've hidden, but still, yeah. We want to at least get to 1,000 someday. That's kind of our goal right now.
That would be cool.
We're going to have to make 1,000 a really special one.
Yeah, we will.
Yeah.
Do you have ideas of what your number 1,000 hide would be? I don't think that many people get to a number 1,000 hide.
That's pretty far down the road still. That's something we'll have to plan for, and like you say, make it pretty special.
Yep.
That's funny. That's more than some people have found.
Oh yeah, absolutely. All right, so the couple things I grabbed to talk about. So as of this has been a while back, so you may have to update us on the actual dates. But you reached over 11,000 finds.
Right.
Okay. And you have managed to find over 1,000 FTFs. How about that, Jesse? 1,000.
That is a lot.
I run with a guy who loves FTF, so I just grab on the coattails and hang on.
Is that Team Oxford?
Yeah. He's got a He's up there in the 2000s somewhere. I'm not sure.
Wow. Yeah.
Do you even know where you're at, Gary?
Oh gosh.
It's
8,
not 1,000. I got that, but
9, 8, 10, somewhere around there. I'm just not an FTF hound. So
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
yeah. It's cool though. It's very cool.
It's not 1,000. I know that for a fact. For me.
Right. You know that, right? So that's kind of cool though. So we want to get into the streak because I know a lot of people are wanting to hear about that. And so we're going to talk about that next. But I do want to mention something very cool. And Jesse, you got to be there for it as well. We were in Denton at the Texas Challenge, and David and Nita got inducted, or is it just you, David? I guess you're kind of
Both of
you're
us.
both
Mhm.
drives, yeah. You because you're a caching couple,
Right.
and they were inducted into the Texas Geocaching Association's Hall of Fame.
True.
So I'm glad to hear that. I was glad to hear it that night because I was actually sitting near you, and I was like, "Oh man, this is awesome!" I know you
I
knew.
think we had invaded your table. I'm not
That's
knowing
perfect.
where we were not supposed to sit.
No. You're always welcome, my friend.
But
But what's funny is that I think did they? I mean, they obviously kind of tell you probably that you need to be there for that. So
no, they didn't. I had no idea.
they didn't. Oh no, seriously?
Oh my gosh.
Oh
No,
wow!
it was
So
a
I
total surprise.
was shocked like you were. Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was a good surprise.
So yeah, and they give you a blue or give you an ammo can painted, and it's got the plaque on the front of it, and it's just a great thing. And so, been honored and well deserving.
Well, thank you. We appreciate that. It was a good surprise.
Yeah, it was great. So okay, 3,934.
That's it.
You'll never forget it. 3934. That's right.
Yeah, what does that number mean?
What does that number mean? 3934.
Some stupid people doing some stupid things for almost 11 years, man.
That's awesome.
Was,
almost 11 years. That's incredible. So
Insanity.
Yeah, it is. It's insane, but it's cool at the same time. But so, oh my gosh, where do I start with this? So I put in the notes. I said, "How this happen?" In my note was, "Well, do it one day at a time." It's one.
Well, I'll tell you, our friends again, the Sandbass King and Queen, who we were real close with, and still are actually, but early on, they had done a streak one time, who was it? Did the home runs and had the asterisk 61.
Oh yeah, Barry. Was that one? Is that Barry Bonds's or no? Who's the 61? Mark McGuire.
Anyway, they tried to get to 61, and they did, and they said it was brutal, and so we kind of started that too. I mean, we actually started just a little after a month after we started caching, and it was every day, and it just became a habit. It became a way of life. We really did. We're in such a target-rich area here, you know. I mean, and I mean, you know, I'm not where weather is that brutal all the time, and we can pretty much get out of here every day and go caching. So and at the time, like I said, they were just everywhere. So it didn't start out to be difficult. It wound up being difficult.
Yeah. When did you decide? And some of the things in the show in the chat room, David, Electric Water Boy put the 31 days of August were brutal, and then somebody else said they did 1,000 EJK PBR 1,056 days, and I'm going, says I've had enough. It's like when.
How long did you think you were going to do it when you started?
Yeah.
Well, we started to get to the 61 with Larry and
that's
Joe
cool.
there.
Yeah.
And then we just kept going. We didn't want to quit. We wanted to do a year. And so at the 1 year anniversary of that, we had a really big event. In fact, we called it the mega event before there really was a mega event. It was for the I don't know, something milestone, something of geocachers. I don't remember what it was.
Right.
But really big event and party and food. And I don't know, we just didn't feel like stopping. So we kept going and eventually set our target to be number one in Texas and then number one in the world. And we,
so that really kind of cool because that makes sense now that you kind of then once you got rolling, as it were, you could kind of then pick out a point like it's kind of like a destination point, and you're like, okay, we want to get to here. So then at that point, it's a matter of just slogging out every day in a sense. I mean, it's for some people that's tough. I know, Jesse, you've talked about before that once you do a certain number of
10%, less than 10% of this. 370 days was my longest one, and I was ready to go pick up a new hobby. I was not loving it. Now, once we got into it, we wanted to get our year. And with the new challenges, all you can do is 365 days. And there was some like that around here, but we definitely wanted to get a year. But I was burnt out, and we were spreading it out between me and my wife. There may have been an earth cache in there that we hung on to or something. I don't know. There were some things that happened, shenanigans that happened, but it was rough, and a couple days we almost blew it too, right in the middle of that. And that was for 1 year. I couldn't imagine doing that for almost 11 years. First of all, I hadn't even cashed in 11 years. So let's put that out there. then second of all, there's no way now I'm not in Texas either. So it's not, I don't have as rich of an environment here, but
well, around
I can't even imagine. I can't imagine 11 years of it.
Every outing turns into what geocache is around there. I mean, we got to go to a birthday party here. Let's find something close by there. Every outing, every trip, every vacation, everything turned into what caches are around there that we can get. And it was good. It was fun. Like I said, it was a way of life.
Did you have like a pocket of them, like a geo art that you were saving in case you got really desperate? Or
we would certainly save some around here, for rainy days or bad days. Sure, we would save some. But I'll tell you this, right up front, never, not one time, never did we not find a cache on that day. We never sandbagged any. We never back pocketed any, whatever you want to call it. We never, ever did that. Between Anita and I, one of us got a cache every day. Now, there was a time we went to a party, and on the way to the party, we got a cache, and the party lasted until after midnight. So we got another one on the way.
Oh, that's legal. That's 100% legal.
Yeah. So
did you get desperate enough to do an earth cache in those 11 years?
Then we got to take the day off, basically, because we'd already got the cache for that.
There you go.
So there were sick days, and there was an ice day here in Mesquite, and Team Oxford came and picked me up, and I closed my eyes while he drove, and we went and got a cache that day. There were some tough days.
That is some dedication right there.
It was fun.
Yeah,
it was fun. And then we reached our when you're chasing somebody else, this is one of those things that the only way you're ever going to catch them is if they quit.
Yeah.
So we just hung in there, and slowly but surely we watched them dropping out, and pretty soon there was only one guy, Kablooey,
right,
that we were trailing behind, and said, I'm gonna stick with it until something happens, one of us.
Yep.
That's how we chose to keep going.
When you got to the end, was it a planned end, or did you just be like, you know what, I'm done, I'm going to play basketball?
It was not a planned end, I'll tell you. It was we'd been through many days like this, but this particular day was a rainy day, and the only thing I could find was something in a town that's about 25 miles away from here, and we said, all right, let's go get this cache. So we got in the car, we drove through the rain down the highway, Dallas traffic.
Mm-hmm.
Got there, DNF that one. Tried to find another one, DNF'd it. Couldn't find anything. Finally said, well, let's go get this other one at a drive-through at a Taco Bell in the rain under a skirt.
Right.
That was it, dude.
That's it.
That's why am I driving? And first of all, I mean, kind of in a way, you're putting yourself at risk getting your vehicle out on the road when you don't really need to in this rain and bad weather.
Mm-hmm.
All to go through the drive-through of Taco Bell.
Hey, now Taco Bell's pretty good food, so watch out. That's a good stuff.
I'm not going to plug them or say anything bad about them, but I'm just saying,
No,
one under a skirt in the drive-through lane is not where you want to put a cache.
No,
right? No, in the drive-through lane
for one in the rain either. So
yeah,
we got home and just said, you know what, we've done what we set out to do. We've held on to number one for 9 months.
Yeah,
let's put an end to it, and so we did.
Did you go out caching the next day then?
No.
Did you take a break?
No, we took. I think we took about 4 or 5 days off, and it was great.
The best.
Did it feel like something was missing?
It was great.
Yeah,
so it probably felt like, there's something I was supposed to do today. I can't remember what it was.
What are we going to do? I don't know. Watch TV. We don't even have a TV. No, we do.
It's interesting though that, like you said, Jesse, that many people will do a streak of say 366 and they're like, I'm done with caching. I don't want to do this ever again. And it drives some people, out of the sport, sadly, but, so
it was almost addictive though, because when we got to the end of ours, we were tired of it, but we were also like, are we really going to allow ourselves to stop? Like ours was only 370 because we did a couple days right before the year started. It was a leap year, and we did a couple days right afterwards because there was events those days anyways. But we're like, okay, we're going to stop today. But are we really going to stop? I don't know. Should we stop? Should we keep going? We're like, no, you know what? We're going to call it. We're going to call it today. And then I think we were going to stop at one point, and then we just accidentally, out of habit, found another one that day. And then we're like, no, this is it. We're going to take a day off so the streak is stopped. But you can get addicted to doing something like that because you just expect to do it all the time.
Sure, absolutely.
They need like a support group or something.
What?
Streakers Anonymous.
There you go. Well, yeah.
That might not be.
That may not be. You may
have the wrong people show up to that one.
Yeah, you might get a mix there of people at that anonymous event. But
I will add though that we're still number one today in Texas.
Oh
wow!
How about that?
That's been since June of 2017, right?
Yeah.
So still hanging on to that.
It is cool. Yeah.
I started a new streak today. One day.
Your slump is over with.
That's right.
Well, you've been up in Wyoming trying to fight the snow and work.
I actually got some caches up there too, though.
In the snow.
Yeah, because there's nothing else to do in that town.
Like
we were stuck.
Real caching.
Yeah, there you go. Real caching up there. Hey.
Oh yeah.
When it's 100 and something down here, David, that's some real caching too sometimes.
Yeah, the skirts are hot.
Yeah, skirt. Stop it with the lamppost skirts. Don't know. So something interesting that there have been a couple of memorable moments with you, David, that really stick out in my mind. One is it was an event that I had, and David came out to the event. And typically with an event, a lot of times everybody kind of goes out afterward and like caches all like this is not just Motley Caching Crew. This is like 12 people caching at the same moment, So it's this crowd going from cache to cache, and that's something that you had mentioned, because it was like I had like a multi cache, and I was fairly proud of it. It was kind of cool, and you were like, and I said, "Come on, let's go," and you're like, "I'd rather leave this one for another day when I can enjoy it."
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think that it really stood out to me that there are times when I think we all hopefully will notice or will identify, say, a cache or a cache owner, or a time where you're like, I don't want to do this with a bunch of people. I want to go do this with just you and Anita, or just me and Susan. So, I mean, I think that was really, to me, spoke volumes that, you know, we, that us that love geocaching, I think there are times where we do need to step back and go, you know what? That one is going to be cool for a lot of different reasons. And I kind of want to do that just by myself, or with maybe one other person.
But Gary, are you saying that it's not all about the numbers? Because I don't think we can break that news here on this show.
Well, for some people, it may not.
You mean some people do it just for the experience and aren't really that worried about getting every single smiley imaginable?
You're speaking my language, my friend. That's me.
I think that's against the rules, actually.
But I think there are times when that may be the case, where we're like, I want to do that cache at a different time. So anyway, I thought that was interesting. Another item, and we want to start transitioning into discussing Drives Cache Closet and how this all occurred, David, and everything. But one of the things that really also stuck out in my mind was we were talking one day about going to be a vendor at an event, and I forget how the conversation kind of came around to discussing how when you're at an event, there's several vendors, and some of the vendors have the same items. And one of the things that I found was interesting is that you will mention that, because you don't plan ahead. I mean, so if you get somewhere and the price you're charging for, say, a bison tube or whatever, is a little bit different than the price that somebody else is charging, that many times you will lower your price, so that you'll match up with the other vendors. So, it's more of a, you know what I'm saying? It's
cheap plug here. Most of the time, I'm raising my price to match
to match everybody else. So it's the other way around.
Yeah, first of all, amongst the vendors who do sell cache supplies, we're all pretty much good friends. So
right,
and we buy from each other. We buy together in bulk together, and we try to make sure, things, we keep it fair. We're not out to cut each other's throat.
Right.
But I have to keep in mind, my problem is I have to keep in mind that I'm a retired guy. I don't do this for a living. And so there are people out there that do, and they have overhead and they have expenses, and they have to make a living. So they're more in tune with what the market on certain things are. So when we first got started with the store, I had to kind of learn that process. I said, well, I don't want to charge that for these, but that's what they're going for. So, but it is a good group of folks, man. And so I like the fact that we do that. And a lot of times when I buy certain things from other vendors, then we go to a show together, then I don't want to put their stuff out on my table.
Right. I follow you.
Again, I'm not doing it for a living, and so it makes it a little different.
Sure, but I think again that really stood out to me that you were wanting to do that. It really stuck with me and really kind of um, made an impact on me, David, that you were willing to do that. So
It's just the right thing to do.
kudos for you, brother, to do that. So we are talking about Drives Cache Closet. It's
Cheap.
no, not cheap. No, not cheap plug. We're gonna was wanting to discuss. I've bought a lot, by the way, for people, just to let people know. I bought a lot from David over the years. Not a whole lot, but I mean, every time I need a or every time I need a bison tube or something, I send a note over to David. I say, here, I got an order coming, buddy. Yeah, so I liked how you did the took part of your took your name and put it together and made Drives. That's pretty clever there, but
yeah, real original.
Real original. No, I like it. That's really cool. But how long have you been in the Drives Cache Closet business, as it were? How long have you been doing this, do you think?
This month it was 8 years. It was 8 years this month.
8 years. Wow. That is awesome.
Yep. 2011, March 1st, 2011 is when when the website opened up.
Right. Yeah. And the other thing too, that's, I think people may not realize is that, other than obviously having the web store, and it's just a very cool, like I said, go out there and check it out. And we've got a special code we're going to share. If you haven't seen it yet, audio people haven't heard about it yet, but the viewers have seen it. But we'll talk about that here in a moment. But what events have you been at? And also, David mentioned the events you plan to be at this year. So what events have you done in the past?
We've done, I wonder what I think the way I got started was I drove up to Midwest Geocache one time by myself without a store or anything, and looked around and kind of saw how they were doing things and set up. And I believe that's where we went first, Midwest Geocache in Wauseon, Ohio, right up there on the northern border.
Yeah.
Man, what a fun event that is. And we still go there every year. And that one is always on our list for the year. Mm-hmm. We kind of got invited to go to Yuma, the Yuma event, and there weren't any vendors at the time, no vendors. And it was a large event, mega event. So we've been going to the Yuma event. It's in February of every year, and typically great weather. This year, it was it was 40 degrees, I think, when we got ready to set up, but it warmed up during the day a little.
Yeah.
And so we go to the Yuma event. We go to that. We go to the Coin Fest events as we can, as they're close and near. And of course, we do the Woodstocks.
Yeah.
And I have an agreement, if you say it that way, with the Space Coast store on the Texas Challenge. If they're willing to drive all the way from Florida and bring their store all the way here, I'm not going to show up and try to take business away from them. So when they're not able to make the Texas Challenge, then we'll go to that. We'll set up at that event.
Right. Well, that's wonderful. Yeah.
And we went to Spring Flings in Oklahoma.
Oh, cool.
Those were fun. Yeah. And we went to an event in Paris, Arkansas.
Wow.
I was there with the Munsey group when they were off of a laptop.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. Rob was brand new to getting Munsey's going. And I think we were in the back room of a little bitty event. That was it.
Wow.
So we have an interesting comment that's going to need some explanation from the chat room. Julie D said, Drives Cache Closet is my go-to vendor. They're generous, friendly, and I love the pins. Bonus, you can watch David as he packs your order.
Well,
that one needs some explanation for sure.
We did that. That was one of our big things when we first opened the store. Was we had a stream going where, and I would say what orders we're working on, and we would have it live during the day, and folks could watch their order being put together and shipped out. Recently, though, last fall, I believe it was, the provider decided that they were no longer going to offer a free streaming service, and so they wanted money.
A lot of money, by the way.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with that, but
100 a month or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, 100 a month.
Way too much.
Cheapest way.
Way too much.
So we've had to stop doing that. But that was pretty interesting for a while. I couldn't go to work in my underwear.
That's right. Well, you could, but probably not. But probably
that's
not
a different type of show.
Yeah, that's a long time ago. But
not the show David wanted to do.
Not that I do it now.
Right.
I have on pants today, so
okay, good.
It's a podcast. We don't stand up. We don't have to wear pants. If that becomes a rule, I'm out.
One of the things also you did for a while, I don't know if you're still can or do periodically, but one of the things that you would sort of make note if a trackable was headed a certain way, you would sometimes pack a trackable that people could kind of move along the.
Yeah, we would offer the option to people when they place their order, ask them if I had one, if they'd agree to take it and move it. That didn't really sit well all the time with everybody. So
yeah.
we stopped that. I didn't want. We weren't doing it out of meanness. We were trying to move traffic around.
Right. You're trying to help out.
But some folks didn't like their trackable being sent in the mail.
Oh gosh. Okay.
So we stopped that practice.
He meant well.
Come on.
I know.
There was a great series for a while that was a play on the science fiction show Stargate series, and it was a series of trackables for a while. Trackable caches.
Right.
TV hotels, and you could drop them in one, and they would send it through the portal, so to speak.
Right, the portal.
To a whole other one. It had like a sister one somewhere else. I thought that was neat, but it was the same premise, and people complained about that. That's not how they're supposed to be sent. Dude, shut up. Okay. This is fun.
Nowadays, you're lucky if a travel bug gets like down the street without it being stolen, and but that's for another show.
Yeah. So we did get a question before we move on from the chat room. Will you be at GeoCoin Fest in Houma?
We are still in negotiations on that. We haven't made a decision there, but it is in our range.
Oh, good deal. Yeah. Okay.
Now, this year, though, like David mentioned, Drives Cache Closet was at Yuma, which you love the Yuma, and we need to. Jesse, one of us needs to go out to Yuma sometime, even though it's in February. I know
I want to go.
It's a cool event because you can pop over to Mexico if you don't have Mexico and grab.
Sweet, I don't have Mexico. I need to go.
Grab another country, and then David, how many Woodstocks do you think you've done? Drives Cache Closet.
I don't know. I think we started after the one in Florida. Lakeland, Florida, I think is where it was.
Right.
I'm not sure what year that was. And that was kind of a disaster for vendors. It's amazing that we even decided to do one. But I don't know.
Ever since,
Maryland, Denver.
Yep. North Carolina.
The Carolinas,
Cincinnati. One of the things that I do, or one of the things I deliberately do because I know that they're really busy, is I try to pop by and at least shake David's hand and give Keith a hard time, because Keith usually helps you a little bit.
Yeah, it helps a lot.
No, and then and also say hi to Anita. But you like the way I do that, Jesse? It's shake David's hand, say hi to Anita, and give Keith a hard time. That's kind of my
pretty much.
That's pretty much what I do. But
there you go.
You know, like I said, they are very busy, and so I don't want to take up their time. It's kind of like Space Coast, same thing. I try to pop in, at least shake their hand, let them know I'm thinking about them, and I'm always appreciative of what they're doing, but not tie up. I don't. This is not a time to chat. So, you know, I probably pop in for a minute, and just say hi and wish them well. So, done that last few years, and but if you are interested, if you're wanting to buy, they are there, and they have cool items. And I have hidden, I would say 99% of what I've hidden, even to this day, has a Drives log in it. And if you want a log, you can go to the Drives Cache Closet and get a cool looking log. So
should we go ahead and give out the code now before we forget? So let's give it out this way though. So if you want to get 25% off from Drives Cache Closet
for this week,
code
is you gotta get on it this week, March 23rd to be the last
this week only. The code is the exact number of the longest streak that Drives was on. So we mentioned it earlier. That exact number. If you use that number, you get 25% off this week.
Yes. His consecutive days.
I'm sorry, you just don't get it. There's no rewind on a live show.
25% off, man. That is sweet.
That's huge. I'm just looking at it. I got a few things I need to order myself. So,
awesome. Don't forget the code.
Yeah, don't forget the code. I got the notes. I'm okay.
Don't forget the code. It'll be in the show notes too. So if
that's cheating. Come on now.
I know it is
again.
I know, but they need to listen to the show.
Or go to Project GC, or there's a lot of ways to do it, but I guess.
Okay, a couple items. We're going to mention something cool. We're going to keep that about the coin. We're going to mention that here in a minute. But first, your buddy Keith, he's called you out, David, and I know Keith, he's crazy. So you're going on a backpacking trip in Colorado, Jesse, up your way. In the
good backpacking up here.
How do you pronounce that? The Weminuche Wilderness. So, what? Again, this isn't really for geocaching. I mean, it's not geocaching, but you've wanted to do something like this before, right? Or have you done something like this before?
It's a bucket list. We've done a lot of backpacking in our early years, and I've been on part of this trail before, and I've always wanted to do the last part of it, which takes it on up to the Continental Divide Trail. We've been hiking in the Weminuche for a lot, so we've been up on top of the divide many times, but this is something bucket list thing, and gonna do it solo.
Wow.
Hopefully. Jesse, search and rescue, stand by, man. Because
they've had a phone call from our household before, so
got the old inReach ready. So
do it.
The SOS button over here. So
wow, yeah, that's cool. I didn't think about Anita's gonna not be happy with you, or she might be happy with you, but she may be worried a little bit.
Oh, she's going to be kicked out on the back porch of a nice cabin along the river for a week, man.
She'll be happy. So, happy and slightly worried, maybe. That's the way to put it.
Yeah, be fine.
That'll be a great trip, though.
It's gonna be. I love that wilderness. It's just. I know that there's been some. There was a
fire.
The bug that killed all the trees.
Oh,
beetle kill.
Yeah, that was in 2012, I think, maybe. Back then. So I don't know how well the forests have recovered, but man, the pictures are a lot of dead stuff. It's just sad.
That is sad.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it'll come back better. I
Yeah,
mean,
sure.
that's that nature stuff, right? That it's going to
Absolutely.
come back even stronger.
Absolutely.
When they go down, it will, yeah, the others will come up, as it were. So, okay. So we want to announce this tonight. David wanted to announce tonight. We really appreciate that he wanted to announce it during our show. But I'm just going to let him take it away, and then we'll talk about here in a minute. You want to just kind of, I'm going to let you take it away, and I'll talk a little bit about my experience with this. So
Okay.
Go ahead, David.
The JFK 50 Geo Trail that we've maintained and had out for a while has always been people who complete it get this get a path tag that looks just like this. But now we're going to at Geo Woodstock this year, we'll be handing out coins to anybody and everybody who has finished in the past and they finish while they're there. So
that is awesome.
It's a really nice coin, and
yeah, I've always hoped that was going to become a coin.
There's 14 caches on the passport and one bonus.
Mm-hmm.
You can do it in 4 or 5 hours, 6 hours, maybe.
Yep. Yeah. It's interesting. I'm going to show the, I got the path tag here, Jesse. I think I've showed this to you before. There's the path tag.
I've seen that in person.
Yes, you have.
I got to go inside the Gary's Geocache Talk studios.
That's true. And you've seen it. But the Motley Caching Crew, that was one of our, because we're always looking for something to do, or, looking for different adventures to do together as a group of our little group of guys. And so we decided, and I think of our little group, I think Keith was the only one that had done the whole trail. And so he was willing to tag along too, which was fine. We like having Keith tag along because he's funny. But anyway, the rest of us had never done the trail or done maybe one of the caches. So you can download the path. You can download the
passport.
The passport, right? You treat it like a treat it like a geo tour. And so in the past, the JFK 50 Geo Trail, and I'll put it in the show notes, the link to the website where you can get that passport. But what's you guys did, you and GeoNasher, right? Have been kind of kept that. Yeah. Found some of GeoNashers too. He's not too far from me. He's in Rockwall. So
it was his brainchild, and he did most of the research, and he's done the write-ups. The cache pages are remarkable.
Yeah,
they're wordy, and I know a lot of people don't like to read cache pages, believe me, but they're something else, and they're very historical, and we've had a lot of good comments on it. There's, like I said, 14 caches, and last I checked, there were 550 some odd favorite points on them.
Wow.
And there's nothing special about the caches. It's all about the location and the history that took place there. Some of the caches are harder than others, but it's because we have to keep them there. But they're all pretty much easy, and we maintain those as regular as we possibly can.
Yeah. So. No, it's interesting. I know some people are kind of look at that and go, "Ooh, that's kind of morbid." And it's like, well, but it's history, and it takes you to places.
History.
It is important history. It takes you to places. Even, I mean, I grew up in San Antonio, but I've lived in the DFW area a long time now, and it takes you to. It's really worth doing, even if you live in this area and you've never done it, because it takes you to places that you may not have ever been to, because you don't really think about it until you do this tour. And I tell you, it made a big impact on us. And it was such a great, like you said, it's where you go. JD Tippett, who Oswald shot, you get to go to J.D. Tiffin's grave, and his gravesite is very well done. It's a nice tribute to that man. And you go to a lot of different places, and you kind of, when you get to the location, you're like, oh, I've seen this before. Because you're like, because you know how it is. When you go to you're like, where's the next geocache on this trail? You go, boop, going to this location, and you get there, you're like, oh, this is where the location where they brought Oswald out and was shot, and that kind of location. Or you get to go to Parkland where he was taken. You get to go to where JFK flew in. You get to go out to Love Field, and if you play your cards right, and I suggest, because you don't have to do them in any kind of order, but play your cards right. If you do your the last one on the trail, if you do it right, you go to one of Susan's favorite restaurants, and that is Campese's, also known as the Egyptian. So if you finish the Egyptian, yes, you finish there, then you eat there, and then your day is complete, because that is an incredible place. So
that place has not changed since the 60s,
which is actually a great thing, because the food there is tremendous. So so you can get so you can get the coin at Geo Woodstock. You're going to have them there, if you've
let me add one thing. People that have finished can still get the coin, even if they're not going to be at Woodstock. By the way, we will mail them out. The coin, we're not charging for the coin, but if I have to mail it, it is $3.50 to mail it.
Right.
So you don't have to get them at Woodstock, but they're available.
They're available. That's awesome.
That hasn't been public knowledge really until just now.
That's awesome. Yeah. So if you're coming into
news on the show again,
absolutely, we love it. If you're coming into the area a little bit early, go over to Dallas. If you're, and do, I wouldn't say sightseeing, but it's historical trail, and so I would suggest doing that, because of, again, it's a fascinating. And like you said, Geo Nasher did a great job, and you've done a great job of keeping that one going. So
thank you.
All right. So Jesse, anything else we want to mention tonight before I'm gonna go back to David and let him comment too on final thoughts? But do you have anything else from the?
Well, we had a couple things we were talking about tonight. I mean, the streak is obviously that's a big thing, and don't forget the code. People were kind of joking about how many places they could find the code, but he was like, "Hey, look at his hat," and "Hey, look on that board to his left," and hey, they said it earlier. It's pretty funny. So, but I mean, that's a big thing. The code, that's huge. We're talking about Drives Closet, and there's good items on there, and it's not trying to gouge anybody. It's good prices. It's good quality kind of stuff too. But this JFK Geo Trail, that's very cool. And I haven't done the trail, but I've done 2 of the caches on the trail. We happened to be in town, and we started doing the caches, and we ended up getting sidetracked with all the history that's there. So when we go back, we'll actually concentrate a little more, and we'll finish the trail up. But that's pretty cool that there's a coin associated with it too, and we really like that. And my wife, that obviously the CFO, she loves the history. So anytime we can tie in history to geocaching, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So good trail. If you get in the area, go do it. I mean, obviously there's a few reasons to go down there, but that's a good one.
There are as I mentioned that. So a lot of cool caches. But the trail is really, really neat. So, well, David, I'm gonna let you. What are some of your final thoughts on tonight? And do you have any? Yeah.
I just, I'll thank you for inviting me to the show, and
you bet,
touching on all these topics and letting me plug the store a little bit. That's always good, I guess. We plan on keeping it going for a little while longer. We'll see how that goes.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, it's not a career. So, but we're looking forward to Woodstock. I hope this is
Any more streaks?
right one here in Fort Worth.
Yeah.
Good grief, there's so much to see and do there. It's a long time coming to that town, and
Mm-hmm.
it's going to be great. It's great. I can't wait to get over there.
Yeah, definitely. If you got to hear David tonight, and you're going to Geo Woodstock, try to make a point to go by and buy something, but also go by and don't take up David's time with just chit chat, but definitely tell him that you heard him on the show, and I think he'll appreciate that you
Sure.
that you got to do that. And if you're not going to be able to make it, this is the week, man. This is the week to do a purchase. Take some of that tax money and get out to Drives Cache Closet. drivescashcloset.com, one word, and
Absolutely.
obviously it's one word. Drives Cache Closet, and buy something, because like I said, that's a lot of cool stuff out there. So
Thank
all
you.
right, you bet. All right, so upcoming shows. So next week we're going to talk about kind of delve back into a little bit of Project GC and some of the things you not sort of in a generic way, but we want to look at something very different ways you can use it.
Some advanced stuff, really deep stuff.
And how to use it. I mean, really kind of what is it's neat to just sort of tool, or, kind of flitter around in Project GC, but what are some tangible things you can do that you might be interested in? County caches, can you do that?
I know I have killed some time on that site before.
Just wandering around.
Like, I didn't know you could do this, and then like 3 hours later, you find something else out, and you're like, oh, come on, stop.
Challenge caches. There's a lot of. We're gonna dig into that with Super Nate, and so that's next week. The week after, we've kind of did a little switch around. Josh Boggs was going to be on, but we've had to delay the AR cache trip, and we needed to move that. He's actually up on crutches right now, so he can't do that trip. But it's a show that I've wanted to do for a while, and so I called Audible, and that is I want to talk about mystery caches that aren't puzzles, because I think it's overlooked sometimes, and nobody ever talks. Whenever people think of unknowns or think of a mystery, the old question mark, they always think puzzle. And I'm thinking there are so many other cool things that you can do with the unknown.
Absolutely.
That people don't ever talk about. So we're going to talk about our favorites and some ideas of what you can do with that little unknown. David's done some cool unknowns that are not necessarily puzzles. So that's a cool idea. So, and then in 3 weeks, they're back. Dee and Tom, and we're going to talk about Geo Woodstock. We're going to dig deep again into what is coming up and the excitement. Jesse's fired up. He's going to ride in the NASCAR.
Yeah. And I think today's like the last day to register too, right? For if you want to pick up
coins
stuff.
Yeah. Today's last day for that. So definitely get out and get that done. But time's starting to run out on things. But very excited about so many different things. The rodeo, we're going to talk about all that cool stuff. Jesse's, you and the whole family coming down, aren't you?
Oh yeah, we are. I'd like to tag a few extra days onto it too, so we could really just totally exploit the area for all the caches we can get our hands on.
So Hallie and Miley, both?
Yep.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
The whole family's coming down.
The whole Memphis Mafia making a tour.
Should be a lot of fun.
That'll be exciting. Looking forward to that. And a lot of cool stuff. And we're planning, and Jesse, I'm working on trying to work out. We're going to do the show live before a studio audience.
That will be fun
on that Sunday. And so I've got Semmel's 123 is working out for us. Some of that we're going to keep doing. We're going to do it one way or the other. We're just trying to find the just the perfect venue to have a studio audience for that show. So working on that. So anyway, well, hope you enjoyed the show tonight. Email us comments, information that if you need anything, geocache talk at gmail.com. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook is facebook.com/geocache talk. Again, the show can be found on iTunes, Stitcher, and pretty much any of the places that you are either listening to this or if you have interest, let me know and I can send you information about the audio portion of the show. And don't forget, if you're watching or if you're either now or later on, if you're watching this after the fact, you can still click on the subscribe button below and hit the notification bell so that you can see and hear the show on a weekly basis. And once in a while, just now we'll do a pop-up show during the week, and you won't know about it unless you have notifications turned on. So you want to do that. And, also tell your friends about the show. That really means a lot to us. Tell others. Take a moment tonight or whatever time you're listening to this, send a quick text or whatever to somebody and go, hey, go check out Geocache Talk. You might be interested in the show. And if you watch live, you can be involved with the chat room. And we have a great chat room. They're always asking good questions and they usually answer their own, right, Jesse? They answer their own questions. We don't have to really sometimes have to answer them. They do it themselves. So.
Plus, we get all kinds of free discounts and prizes and all kinds of news breaks on the show. So
it does. Exactly.
You don't want to miss out.
You want to listen to, you definitely have to watch the show every week because we've got stuff like David's 25% off was mentioned tonight. So, all right. Well, until next week, don't just talk about geocaching. Go to an event or start a geocaching streak, but however you want to do it, you just need to go geocaching. Good night, everybody.